And yeah, that might be a bad thing to consider too, because the last thing you ever want to do as a good person is be manipulative. But what's in it for me? I'm sorry, it's just that's the dog eat dog world we live in. I never wanted to be this way. People drove me into a corner. But I had to look out for myself. You're doing good though. Just gotta keep taking your breaths, breathing through it, reminding yourself you're doing good, you're doing what you have to. And anyone who fucking makes you feel otherwise, you need to get rid of that shit, because it's gonna keep knocking at your head. It's gonna keep telling you you're not doing enough, you're not doing enough, you're not doing enough. And you're gonna keep telling yourself, yes I am, yes I am, yes I am. And you're gonna be stagnant, because you're gonna have negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. You're not gonna have positive, 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 positive. Oh, here goes a negative, but not that big of a deal because I got positive, 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 positive. That's what's happening. And I've tried so hard to breed the positive lifestyle for myself. But people like your mother make it really difficult. People like shitty doctors make it really difficult. People who criticize and judge and talk shit just make it really fucking difficult. Like, they weren't in that position to begin with at some point or another too. Like, you know damn well you've been judged for something that wasn't your fault. So why the fuck are you treating me that way?
Right? Preaches that shit all the fucking time. It's
people
like,
don't know any better. They want to save everyone from the shit that they've felt. Assuming that you have a better mind about it. You're not being manipulative. You're not being an asshole. Let's say you got good intentions. Then those people who do that stuff, who are overbearing, I can kind of understand it, because I know you're coming from a place in your heart. However, that does not mean that you're doing something positively. That doesn't mean that you're having a positive influence on the world just because your intentions are good. You have to find a way to navigate that. And if you don't, you're going to find yourself in more holes than not. And you're going to be pulling yourself out of those holes, and you're going to have to do the work by yourself. And then you're going to be like, well, what the fuck? Why was no one there to help me? Because you put yourself in the fucking holes and you kept yourself there. That's your mom. And just like fucking Shelly said, your mom has some shit that she's not willing to face. And she told you that by telling you she don't want to go to counseling with you. She don't want to go to therapy because she don't want to confront that shit. She don't want to remember it. It's like, yeah, remembering it is good. Holding on to it and harboring it is bad. Pushing it down like it doesn't exist is bad.
Because it's like, memories are supposed to be humbling. Memories are supposed to be what creates your person. So it's like, you know, good or bad, your memories shape who the fuck you are. It's like, I'm just tired of that fucking hypocrite shit.
I think your memories guide you, but your decisions make you who you are. Because your decisions, I'm not trying to correct you, but I'm trying to analyze in my head how I feel about that. Because yeah, you're right, your memories do make you, but only to an extent. They guide you. Yeah. And your decisions and the way you handle those decisions are what really make you. Because the fallout of those decisions, whether it be good or bad, is going to be what kind of pushes you in a bad corner or a good corner. But no, you're not wrong about anything. It's just like, yeah, exactly. You can't keep dealing with that shit that drives you like a hammer to the nail straight into the wood. The more you deal with that, the more we as humans start to rely on those trauma bonds. Yeah. Like, we start to rely on, oh, I need you to make me feel like shit so that I can turn around and prove myself and feel good. And then we end up stuck in this cycle for people where we're trying to prove ourselves, pining for that approval. We don't get anywhere. And then we turn around, we blame ourselves. Well, maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I'm not pushing hard enough. Maybe I'm not doing what they like. I'm tired of that shit too. Everyone makes me feel that way sometimes. Not everyone. I always say everyone, but what I'm referring to is like the worldly shit you really can't control. And so yeah, it shouldn't make me feel that way, but fuck, dude, that's why I'm trying to grow. Can't, like you said, you can't keep dealing with it. Can't keep, like, but how do you draw the line? How do you put your foot down? You know, it's circumstantial.
Really
it's circumstantial, exactly. Too.
I mean, shit, that's what I was trying to do originally until I fucking Momo died and I fucking caved. Know what I mean?
Yeah, because you felt something towards it. And what did you tell Shelly earlier? After Momo committed suicide, you told your mom. Your mom was just kind of like
as if it was another thing. Like
a
another
thing
day.
that happens.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to be us, but yeah, let you try to keep that in mind. Like, no, you're supposed to keep that in mind because you're the one who was perfectly fine trying to teach me a lesson as your daughter. And again, that's not your job. Your job as an adult is not to fucking tell someone how to live their life. You can give your advice, you can give your experiences, but the second you try and tell someone how to guide their path, they're gonna feel janky within their own skin.
Especially like after they turn 18 and everything, after they've already like been an adult for forever. And it's like even more so for myself, because it's like, dude, you treated me like a mini adult my whole fucking, like, since I was 9 years old, and then but the whole time undermining everything. Like, you're over here like, oh yeah, you're a mini parent, but not really, because you're a fucking child.
She didn't respect you as her child. She respected you as a faulty partner that she was used to, because every partner she had, aka like your dad, for instance, she saw him as someone who just gave up and didn't do the work.
Yeah.
He didn't want to communicate. He didn't want to do this. He didn't want to do that. So yeah, she got this mentality where it's like, okay, well, I got to do it on my own, and I do better on my own. Every time I fucking deal with a man, this is what I end up with. That's why she raised you to fucking think you didn't need a man. But here she is, how many years later, still hypocritically saying, oh, but it takes two in this world. It takes two. And she knows damn well she couldn't do it without Chris.
And she knows that if it, like, you know, and it's like, Chris is Chris. If she had picked anyone the fuck else that didn't have, like, a savings and a job.
No, Chris is Chris. Yeah, exactly. You got that right, because there are not many people. I'll give it to Chris. Chris has his own traumas and bullshit too. He's an asshole in his own way, but he's incredibly wise when it comes to saving money. He's got his ducks in a row.
Super fucking smart financially and shit.
So it's like, yeah, I'll give him that.
Yeah, but it's like, that's what keeps you guys fucking alive, is because he was already good at money. He fucking lived at his parents' house until you guys got married. Like, yeah. And I mean, it's lucky, like, at this point, you're lucky that I even told you to give him a second chance, because apparently, like, she wasn't going to until,
that's right. And then also keep in mind, you guys lived with your dad for a while, and he didn't even care. He was just like, I got y'all. I got all y'all.
I got all y'all, including the biological father of my fucking stepchildren.
You know, many motherfuckers would have said, nah, I can't do this.
Exactly.
That's crazy. And she still don't count her blessings. She's still ungrateful. She's still like, why can't you do what I do?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you take anyone the fuck else, and you would probably still be struggling. Because it's like, again, like, when COVID hit and everything, I bet you both would have lost your jobs, just like we did, and you both would have been fucking struggling. You both would have probably ended up homeless. Like, come the fuck
Especially if COVID was worse, because whatever your savings was would have gotten drained the fuck too. And then what would have happened?
But it's like, at that point, you know, they didn't lose their jobs the way we did. They didn't fucking struggle the way we did. And it's like, they expect it to be our fault. And it's like, it's not our fault that, you know, places were obviously, like, it wasn't anyone's fault. Like, do you know how many people got laid off because of COVID? Like, how bad it got?
And see, that's just the thing, though, too, is a lot of people are going to watch this and be like, COVID, that's 5 years, or that's this many years ago. No, there is so many things that are still affected by COVID, especially government finances, especially the way things are conducted with doctors. Like, I couldn't get my fucking doctor to send me another referral. You know what I mean? I had to go through another referral to actually go to the doctor, and even then, it was going to be like however many weeks out. And
yeah, they changed things after COVID. So it's like they changed so much shit.
It's not even that they changed things, it's that they're still trying to change things to see what works. And so they're in the process of trial and error when it comes to the government assistance, when it comes to fucking medical, when it comes to all this. Everything is still affected, and no one's gonna know except for the people who actually fucking need it and get let down because nothing's there.
And again, it's not like we're out of jobs right now. It's that you're fucking on unpaid medical leave, and I only have a part-time job that affords our car.
Even if I had PTO at the time that I took my leave, my PTO would be out.
Yeah, it would have ran out. Like, we would have been okay the first week, But even then, we wouldn't have been able to make rent, so we still would have been in the car.
I want to ask this. How many of the viewers out there have 3 months of PTO stacked that you can use, take 3 months off, and be cool? Not worry about shit. I just want to know.
Yeah.
Because
And
my
it's
PTO would have ran out.
keep in mind, like, people have new jobs. People have barely been with the companies for, let's say, like, 2 months, so they're barely accumulating their PTO for one of the months if they have like a 30-day fucking probation.
Even then, I had been with fucking Wetron for a minute, and then we transferred into
yeah,
Walmart.
and I was just gonna say that, like,
it was irrelevant because they paid me out for the PTO that I had already had, or even would have had.
yeah.
Anyone who actually did have 3 months stacked up got paid out, and say would have had that seizure, would have been out for 3 months.
Would have been out.
Had the PTO.
Yeah, they wouldn't have had the PTO.
Like,
they would
that's
have had the
wrong.
money to maybe survive a little bit longer. But again, like,
But don't-
they at that point they would have only had money enough to either.
What I want to know is what about all the fucking money that I paid into medical when I was working at like Del Taco, and I didn't even have medical insurance?
Yeah.
Why doesn't that go to my fucking medical pay? Like Social Security. That's what fucking Shelly was saying. Like Social Security, whatever you pay into it at 35 to 45, then that comes back to you during retirement. Okay, well, what about medical? So all the medical I paid on my fucking Del Taco checks for 8 years is just fucking in limbo, went to government as
what
taxes?
was it? Exactly. It was supposed to go to people that needed aid, aka us, who need aid, just to get fucking denied. It's like, okay, but we're regular taxpayers too. So,
No, it just
like, how
went
the
up.
fuck does that make sense?
You want to know where that medical went? It went to COVID and COVID relief packages and fucking all that bullshit. All my taxpayer money for medical during that 8.5 years when I didn't have insurance because Del Taco didn't offer it, even though I worked full time for fucking almost 10 years. You know what I mean? It's like, that's where all that medical shit went, was to fucking COVID and everyone running out of toilet paper and our fucked up healthcare system. So yeah, that's why none of it's coming to me now. But it's like, even if that weren't the case, would it have come to me anyway? Probably not.
Because people always do everything they can to keep your money, like apartments and shit. When you move out, like, you basically never get your fucking deposit, even if you left that place fucking perfect.
Yeah, that shit's rigged.
Your hat's in my mouth.
Sorry, just trying to move it.
I guess we should actually head towards Mama Shelly's because the laundry already turned on.
Okay, I'm just mopping them away or whatever. I'm actually gonna clip this one.